Welcome back to another episode of the Givetastic Podcast. I'm your host, Chris.
And your co-host, Stephanie.
This week, we're going to take a step into a more lighthearted direction. We think the world needs a few good laughs.
I'm pretty sure there is quite a few travelers out there that are in need of some information about safety when it comes to traveling.
So it's a good thing for you that we'll be bringing you the top 10 most dangerous cities for tourists. Your city might be on the list.
Surprisingly, we're just a quick drive from one of these places.
You got to stay tuned for that. We'll also be bringing you guys another episode of
What Were They Thinking?
And last, we'll be giving you all another episode of the What It Is segment.
We would like to say congrats to the winners of the Givetastic Giveaway. We want to give a huge shout out to Mrs.Cavess and Tina Strong. Enjoy the Amazon gift cards.
Don't worry, there'll be other chances to win. Stay tuned for future chances to find out how and when.
Don't forget to reach out to us at WHATTTTTITTTTISSSS for any insight on the show. Got a show idea or some feedback on a topic we've talked about? Feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And now, let's get started.
There are quite a bit of weird and ridiculous things that happen in the news from day to day. This is our way of shedding some light on some of the things we've dug up from around the world. Once again, we bring to you
What Were They Thinking?
We'll start off with this one that's right up your alley. A customer has been left feeling mortified after being chased down in a car park because she didn't leave a salon worker a tip.
Oh my gosh.
She explains how she gets her nails done every 2 weeks and usually has enough spare change in her pocket to thank her technician for their time. Taking to Reddit, the woman said, "I've been going to the same place for the past year. They have a sign hanging up saying cash tips only, please.
Damn.
I never carry cash on me, so I always stop at the bank across the street from them to get tip money before my appointments. The other day I was running late, so I didn't stop at my bank first. When it came time to pay, I didn't leave a tip." She went on to explain how she made it halfway to her car, then she was stopped in her tracks by the manager running after her. I could hear a lady calling out to me. I turn around and the owner/manager is literally running towards me, so I walked back to her, she added. She asked me if I like my nails and I said, "Yeah, I love them. She did a great job." To which she replies, "Then why didn't you tip?" The manager told her she could pay on card instead and started ushering her back into the store to leave a tip.
Wow.
The customer said, "This is a popular nail salon and always busy, so everyone in there saw this encounter." Many people responded to the Reddit post, but I'm curious about what you would do.
Wow, that's ridiculous. I'd be like, I don't know, bitch, I'm broke. Or
There went your tip. We've gone to dinner before and we didn't have money for tip, but we always make sure we leave a bigger tip the next time we return if we go back. But she could explain that to the lady.
Yeah,
if the lady
like
was
I didn't
so,
have cash or whatnot.
Yep.
I mean, they should change it then. They should change the sign from cash to accept cards.
Yeah, any kind of tips.
To not make the customer feel bad.
Or
I bet
guilty.
the girl felt bad and embarrassed, most of all embarrassed.
Especially because it was a busy place.
Wow. What were they thinking? If you're looking for a new job that requires you to get out and about in the fresh air, then maybe you could consider becoming a human seagull deterrent. Recruiters at the zoo in the UK are looking to keep hungry seagulls away from their visitor dining areas and need a helping hand or a claw to do so. The Seaside Zoo is looking for a plucky team of seagull deterrents to join their visitor services team. As part of their efforts to keep pain-in-the-ass seagulls away from visitors' food, and applicants will need to be able to demonstrate a number of specific qualities. We need to do what we can to keep the seagulls away from our main visitor dining areas, which is why we are looking for a team of people to join our visitor services team as seagull deterrent. The job description says successful candidates will need to be visitor-focused, friendly, energetic, and flexible. Naturally, they'll also have to be pretty outgoing given that they will need to be comfortable wearing the bird costume. The role is being offered with variable seasonal hours and could be an exciting opportunity for those who always wanted to unleash their inner seagull. What were they thinking?
I think I would be an amazing seagull deterrent.
Why?
Because nobody could flap like me.
You're just make a fool of yourself. Look how ridiculous.
That's the best because you're in a costume. No one will know it's you.
Exactly.
That's the best. A woman who ended up trapped on the roof of her apartment building was able to think up an ingenious plan to get back down again, all by using her Uber Eats app. The quick-thinking woman, whose name is Maggie, says no one was available to help rescue her from the rooftop, and so she ordered herself some lunch using Uber Eats.
And left a note.
Yeah, leaving very specific instructions for the accidentally heroic delivery man. Maggie, who lives in New York, explained, I got locked on my roof and no one was available to come help me out, so I ordered Uber Eats. She continued, I put in instructions that you just have to buzz every apartment until someone lets you in, then come up to the roof and let me out. Footage taken from Maggie's rooftop prison shows her greeting the delivery driver Jeffrey as he delivers her food. Maggie was last seen enjoying a tasty burrito in the comfort of her apartment, free to roam once again.
What were they thinking? A woman is filing for divorce after her husband gave her beloved cat away without permission while she was away on vacation. She adopted her cat Benji 2 years ago as a way of coping with the loss of her father, and she immediately fell in love with the pet. After adopting him, she started to believe the cat was the reincarnation of her dad, as she felt a deeper bond with him than him just being a pet. So she was absolutely heartbroken when she came back from a few days away to find her husband had given the cat away, and she is now filing for a divorce.
Bastard.
The husband gave her cat to a coworker of hers, and when she called the coworker to ask for the cat back, the guy told her that her husband gave him away fair and square and he wouldn't be returning her cat. She says, my husband had no right. The cat had always been only mine. She wrote, I'm at a loss right now. Benji has never been through anything like this, and I can only imagine the stress he must be feeling right now. In an updated post, she went on to saying that she filed a police report in a bid to get her cat back. But when she spoke to the coworker's wife about what was going on, the wife had no idea. How did the wife have no idea? That's crazy.
No one told her, hey bitch, I got a cat.
I haven't been home or seen my husband since I found out Benji was gone. My family has supported me in my decisions, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to help when I may need them. The lady continues, I will not stop fighting for my cat. He is more valuable to me than anything. What were they thinking?
It's so annoying how people are like, I'm at a loss right now. Benji has never been through anything like this.
They prefer their animals.
They treat him like humans. Like, I'm going to sign him up for therapy.
Weird.
Ugh, what were they thinking?
Annoying.
Right? Did you say that yet?
Yeah.
Say it again.
What were they thinking?
That does it for the What Were They Thinking part of the show. I don't know what's worse, the lady getting chased down by the nail lady or the lady that got hungry while being locked on a roof. They get smarter and smarter every day. Now it's time for the top 10 most dangerous cities for tourists, brought to us by listverse.com. Traveling is as easy as getting a passport, applying for a visa, and packing your bags. We all wish it was more straightforward than that, but instead, it gets worse. You must plan where you will sleep, what you will eat, how you'll gel with all the natives, and more importantly, how will you ensure your safety. While it's true that every neighborhood has its own degree of safety, some have more than others, and that's a concern. From unpredictable weather to harsh cultural/political practices and insecurity. We look at the 10 most dangerous cities for tourists. Not to be mistaken though. These cities are vibrant, have amazing natural features, and are generally perfect for tourism. Their only letdown is you might have to fear for your overall safety a bit more. And if you think about it, perhaps it's the adrenaline rush that makes them more worthwhile. We'll start off the list with number 10, Kingston, Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica is one of the places you can visit on a budget and still make the most of your trip. From the museums and tropical rainforests to fine natural harbors, you won't run out of things to do. The city also boasts spawning famous reggae artists such as the legendary Bob Marley. However, Kingston's crime rate can have you singing a different tune. Statistics show that the country experiences about 49.4 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. With Kingston at its heart, security concerns in this region range from petty theft to gang violence and drug trafficking. If you plan to visit Kingston, Jamaica, or learn about the region, it's safe to say that safety is not guaranteed there. To improve your chances of having uninterrupted fun, avoid walking at night, visit places with more people, and stay away from regions with known gang-related crimes. When headed to the beach, leave your valuables behind, or you will become a target for petty thieves. Number 9. Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi, Kenya is one of the few cities you can go to find a national park in its heart. The city looks perfect for tourists, with museums, natural forests for trekking, and outdoor spaces for camping all within the vicinity. However, you are advised to be cautious with some of the natives. They can always smell foreigners and trap them in to make a killing, sometimes literally. Aside from that, the city has been subject to terrorist attacks, targeted high-profile institutions, and government facilities. Walking in public might not save you from this. Terrorists usually aim for public spaces. At one moment, you might be at peace enjoying your trip. Before you know it, you're running or fighting for your life. The biggest challenge for tourists touring Nairobi is that you can never tell when something will go down, and something always goes down. Number 8. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is a perfect option if you love partying and attending festivals. The city, popularly known for football or soccer to the Americans, is home to beautiful beaches, state-of-the-art architecture, and a carefree lifestyle. You can also enjoy dancing samba and the carnival. Have you heard of the Christ the Redeemer statue? It's a thing for most tourists and worth exploring. You can also enjoy the city view from the top of Corfagado Hill. We can go on and on, mentioning thousands of things you can do in Rio. We must also mention that the city has one of the leading crime rates in the region. It has high mugging risks, medium natural disaster risk, and pickpockets are always on high alert to steal from unsuspecting visitors. Only 43% of Rio is considered safe, meaning the city is generally too risky to visit. You'd rather stay away and watch the soccer on television than visit the home of samba and get robbed or mugged. Number 7. Tijuana, Mexico. We're familiar with this one. It's right across the street, basically.
Yep.
You will love Tijuana, Mexico if you visit on a short trip. The destination is also perfect for a day trip from San Diego. Here you could take pictures at the city's monumental arc, learn about the natives, visit Cathedral de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, or watch Lucha Libre. Unfortunately, Tijuana would be a perfect tourist destination, but for its security issues, more than 138 murders per 100,000 people were reported here in 2022 alone. The city is filled with con artists, with neighborhoods harboring gangs and cartels. Authorities have also identified the region as a hub for smuggling drugs into the United States. Visiting Tijuana means that you can end up in the crossfire, either from cartels or the authorities. Cases of human trafficking have also been reported in this region. You don't want to be kidnapped while on a trip. The trick here is to avoid hotspots and minimize walking at night or in areas with little population. Number 6. Baghdad, Iraq. When you hear Baghdad or Iraq, you immediately know something has gone down or is about to. The city has many places you can visit while on your trip. For instance, you can visit the Baghdad Museum, Al-Shahid Monument, the Ottoman Castle, or the Al-Rashid Street Market for shopping. Unfortunately, the city has been prone to kidnappings, armed conflict, terrorism, and civil unrest. You might be enjoying your shopping, and before you know it, you're in the middle of a protest or altercation. Baghdad and the larger Iraqi country has tough rules that foreigners might struggle with to comply. If you are planning to visit, it might be wise to stick to the generally safer regions of Baghdad, such as the Kurdish. Number 5. Cali, Colombia. If you are looking for one of the best nightlife locations, Cali, Colombia has to be among the top. It's one of the few cities where nightclubs stay open till 7 a.m. Good God. If you factor in the weather, you have every reason to visit Cali. Or not. Endless nightlife comes with many challenges, with the most important being a potential lack of security. Cali is home to drug cartels, gangs, and thieves, people who are not afraid to kill. It's okay to overlook the unsafe aspect and enjoy the city's beauty and serenity as long as you take enough precautions. For instance, you can avoid club hopping if you go out at night. You can also visit alternative tourist attractions such as El Gato del Rio and Iglesia Ermita. Any destination that you can visit during the day is welcome. Number 4. Pripyat, Ukraine. At one point, Chernobyl power plant and the Pripyat were Ukraine's most visited tourist destinations. Surprisingly, the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia has nothing to do with why this city was abandoned. Okay, maybe a little. Pripyat is now filled with radioactive waves that can be fatal. The area is contaminated, and people exposed to the conditions may be digging their own graves. Pripyat's inhabitability was caused by a catastrophic explosion meltdown from an extreme power strike. Since then, close to 400,000 people have been evacuated from the region. Today, only the brave souls reside in Pripyat, given its high-level contamination and extensive levels of radiation. If you love to visit ghost towns with plenty to see and do, Pripyat might be your perfect option. You have been warned, though. Number 3. Caracas, Venezuela. The National Pantheon of Villa National Park and Parque Los Calvos are lovely places you can visit in Caracas, Venezuela. It is almost famous for its food and entertainment, restaurants with local cuisines, museums, theaters, shopping centers, etc. You will find anything you could think of, apart from security. Don't let the sky-high buildings fool you. Things can get messy quickly in Caracas. The city has one of the highest crime rates in the world, and the situation doesn't look like it'll change anytime soon. Natives attribute its diminished security in Caracas to the country's dilapidated economy. Venezuela's political stability is nothing to write about. Demonstrations are a norm, so if someone is not trying to rob you to fend for their family or buy drugs, you might be caught in a political demonstration. The city is a nice tourist destination. The same cannot be said about its security. Number 2. Islamabad, Pakistan. Islamabad, Pakistan is home to world-renowned tourist attraction centers and places of worship, such as Shah Faisal, Masjid Daman Eco, I'm probably killing all this shit, and Lak Versa Heritage Museum. The city also hosts several parks and forests, and the Shakaraparian and Margolia Hills National Parks are the most popular. Traditional cuisines such as halwa, puri, kapli kebab, and dal are worth trying, but there is one big problem: security. A report in 2022 showed that the attacks in Islamabad were on the rise, with hotels and recreational areas among the top targets. The measures to curb these cases of poor security are not friendly either. The authorities in the region have heightened security checks, which include brutal force, countless checkpoints. You won't want to encounter any of these while on vacation, do you? And the last one on the list, number 1, Kabul, Afghanistan. Over the years, places like the National Museum of Afghanistan have been major tourist attractions for people worldwide. However, Kabul is constantly threatened by terrorist attacks, and the authorities are usually brutal with their searches and peacekeeping missions. Traveling in Kabul is not considered safe, especially because attacks are usually abrupt and deadly. As much as the city is beautiful and perfect for sightseeing, you must be an incredibly brave soul to consider visiting the place.
Damn, have you noticed the last 3? They were like Middle Eastern. Well,
I wonder who wakes up and says, "Hey, get dressed, pack your bags.
We're going to Afghanistan.
We're going to Islamabad."
Oh my God. Unless probably you have family over there, then that's probably the only reason you're going to be in.
That's the last place I'm going to go to.
Yeah. You hear so many bad things.
And I'm scared to travel as it is. I mean, I'm scared to fly, but I'm just really scared of like going someplace and not being able to speak the language.
Well, that's why you hired like those people that
translators and tour
tourist
guides.
Yeah.
But see, if you can't afford that, then what? Might as well
then
stay
don't
your
go.
ass home, right? We hope you enjoyed the top 10 dangerous destinations for tourists. And now it's time for the What It Is segment, everyone's favorite. Indiana's 7-year-old dragged down the street by a school bus. A 7-year-old girl is recovering after she was dragged down the street by her school bus in Anderson, Indiana, according to her family and local police. Grace Brown described what she saw Friday morning as she watched her daughter, Khalees, board the bus. She said Khalees put one foot up on the first step, but the bus's doors closed before she could enter. The door started closing and she was hopping until she got swept under and dragged the rest of the way. Grace Brown recalled, "I can't even look at a bus without seeing the picture of my daughter being dragged around on the ground from it." Brown said she ran after the bus screaming for it to stop, but the driver kept going. The bus eventually stopped approximately 30 feet down the street. She was hysterical, crying and shaking, Brown said of her daughter's condition. Khalees's clothes were ripped and torn with her knee bloodied. Brown said she is grateful her daughter's injuries weren't worse. "I could have lost my baby. Nobody really understands that," Brown said. She could have gone under a wheel. Exactly. She could have bounced her head off the ground, or worse. Wow. Anderson Community Schools released a statement Monday saying in part, "Since the time of the incident, we have been in close contact with the student's mother, the bus driver, and Anderson Police Department, the Indiana State Police Department, and the Department of Child Services." The district also said the bus driver won't be permitted to drive while the investigation is underway. "Why didn't you look in the mirror? Why didn't you look behind you?" Brown said, questioning the bus driver's actions. "Why didn't you look at the door as you were closing it? Why didn't you look?" The Anderson Police Department, along with Indiana State Police, the school, district, and Department of Child Services are all conducting independent investigations.
That is crazy. I wonder if he was wearing like headphones or why he couldn't hear. I mean, I'm pretty sure he heard the kid, you know?
Yeah.
If he didn't have anything to distract him.
Well, I know that school buses are pretty loud, so maybe the kids on the bus were screaming and all that stuff.
But how did the bus driver not see the kid going up, you know?
And why didn't he stop?
Exactly.
Or he or she, I don't know. But yeah, why didn't they stop? I mean, you're supposed to be looking all around anyway.
Yeah,
to
make
be
sure
aware.
all kids come in and all kids are free from the door closing.
Because the door itself is dangerous too.
That's sad.
All right. We hope you enjoyed another fantastic show. We'll see you all next week for another good one.
Remember to follow us on our social medias at lifetastic.us. Maybe tell a friend about our show and help us reach out to people we normally wouldn't reach.
Thank you all for giving us an outlet to share our thoughts with. It's pretty much like therapy if you think about it. If you're arguing with your baby mama and need to take a drive, you can turn on some Tupac really loud, or you can turn on Lifetastic Podcast and laugh a little. Either way works.
Congrats once again to the winners of the first ever Givetastic Giveaway.
Yeah, congratulations.
We have a lot more where that came from, so make sure you keep tuning in to find out what you can do to win. With that being said, thanks once again for tuning in. We hope to see you back next week. Much love, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. See ya. See ya.